Do you think the Packers are underestimating Brock Purdy? You heard what Devontae Wyatt said. Pressure him, get bodies around him, guarantee turnover. What do you think?
Right.
What are the Packers saying, like, privately about this guy in their meetings and their game plan?
Well, I mean, it's cute, but they just don't got the dogs to hunt. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between, seeing what you want to go get and then actually going to obtain it and execute. And I just don't think the Packers can do it. One thing that they lack is necessarily a good pass rush. They got a lot of good guys on their defense. They got over 6 first-round picks in their defense in Jair Alexander, Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, Darnell Savage, Quay Walker, and Devontae Wyatt. But they're just kind of a sum of all parts. They're not really a cohesive unit. Also, depth. They just lost a huge depth piece in Kingsley Enagbare. Their DN, who played over plus 40 snaps for them against Dallas. So it sounds cool, but we know in today's league, man, you got to actually have the dogs to do it. And there's only 1 to 2 teams that actually can play against us and have the requisite talent across the board to actually do what they say they're going to do. And the Packers aren't one of those teams, especially on defense. For everything that we've been saying about the Packers, it's because of their offense. Make no mistake about it. It's because their offense is showing a really good uptick. They finally got Aaron Jones back healthy. They got a good pound back in Dillon. And Aaron Jones has ran for over 100 yards in the past month, and they look really good. But that defense is bad. All right. And there's a reason why why the loss to Dallas seems so shocking is because that defense really didn't do anything. Dak still threw for over 400 yards on that defense.
It just seems like they don't respect Brock. Like they played with Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love is a first-round pick. He's playing really well. I think just like how Niner fans are comparing Brock Purdy to Joe Montana, Packers fans are comparing Jordan Love to Aaron Rodgers, and they think they have a special playmaker. And they look at Brock and they think of him as a system quarterback, a product of the supporting cast, and just a game manager. And I think that's funny. I feel like they are underestimating Brock Purdy. They may not know him that well, or maybe they just feel like he's beneath them because the Packers have such a rich history of quarterbacks. But you can hear it when they talk about him. And I think that's why this game is going to be. I think there's going to be a little bit of like, we don't like you.
Yeah, there's a backhanded complimentary way that people talk about Brock. You right?
Yeah.
And people know how. That's why you almost get respect for talking flat out about Brock rather than talking in like this milquetoast, lukewarm way about him, where like you don't want to just come out and say that you just don't believe in the kid. That's really what you're trying to say. Like, this kid is not gonna beat us, right? Like, if you really get physical with this kid, it's a whole different ball game. But I mean, I believe it's cap. They're gonna have to show it. Because our team is way too good for you to think that you're just going to get at Brock. It ain't happening that way.
No, I don't think so. And the thing about Brock is like, you could try to, you could think you have the blueprint to shut him down. I mean, maybe you do. Certain teams have. Baltimore, Cleveland. But if the Niners and Kyle are really on it, they should still be able to win. Like, they won an NFC championship running the ball 8 times. And now they have a better running back than they had that time. The Niners are so tough. So, yeah, do whatever you got to do to shut down Brock Purdy, but that doesn't mean you're going to win the game.
Yeah.
You might prove a point.
And to be honest with you, that's one of the reasons why we win games is because there are teams that come in trying to stop Brock. And they don't realize that it's kind of disrespectful to the fact that we got the leading rusher in the league right now. We got one of the most dynamic X-factor athletes in Deebo Samuel, a very good tight end in George Kittle, and a receiver who will route you up. So, it's cool, but we've seen teams who came in saying that they're going to stop Brock. They lose because we got way too much talent for you to think that you can focus on one guy. That's almost kind of like what we want you to do.
Exactly. I think that's kind of what the Niners are playing off, because for so long with Jimmy Garoppolo, it was clear, like, take away the run game, put the game in Jimmy's hands. Now you have to play the Niners straight up. You can't come to the game saying, all right, we're going to make Brock beat us. He will. Or we're going to make Christian McCaffrey beat us. He will.
He will.
Have to be good enough on defense to play the Niners straight up. So if the Packers are coming in this game saying, we're a little undermanned, but we can at least take the game out of McCaffrey's hands and force Purdy to beat us. Man, get to know Brock.
Yeah. Yeah. You better the Brock. Teams. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, look at the teams that beat us. The Browns played a complete game. They stopped the run against us, right? Yeah. That's what beat us, right? Yeah. The Bengals they had a sustained run game against us, right? Yeah. And a quarterback that was patient and stayed on time and stayed ahead of the sticks, ergo ahead of us, right? Yeah. We played a freak in Lamar Jackson, which you guys do not have. And on top of it, they had a defense that played and stopped the run. So if anything against the Ravens, they were more focused on stopping the run because Brock was actually moving the ball down the field through the air on the Ravens. So good luck, Green Bay. Honestly, like if that's what Wyatt and the rest of those boys, if that's their modus operandi, God love you. It ain't gonna work. We're way too complete of a team for you to focus on one guy. It just it's not.
Packers can play zone coverage and not give up any big plays, tackle, not give up yards after the catch, and get pressure with 4 and keep him in the pocket. They can win. That's what Baltimore did. That's what Cleveland did. I don't know if they can do it. Obviously, that's what you have to play. Great zone coverage. You have to play. You have to have great 4-man pass rush and keep him in the pocket. Okay, only elite defenses can do that.
And you got to have great linebackers.
Great.
You got to have linebackers that are going to fill. They're going to go sideline to sideline. They're not going to get fooled and play with good. You got to play backwards. You got to know what you're doing in them seams. It's good luck, man. Like at this stage of the game, we've seen it so many times. We've seen it so many times where it's just like, all right, man, y'all don't have enough, but you'll see. You got to find out.
Black Pill Phil says if the Niners play their brand of football, the Niners win comfortably. The Cowboys defense played like their DC already booked a ticket to Seattle. We got you. Matthew Sanders says, how can Wilkes force this young quarterback and offense into errors?
Stop the run. That's the key. That's the key to their success. Jordan Love he's a talented kid. All right. He's big, strong, good arm, but he goes plus. He actually starts helping his team when that run game is working, particularly the outside zone with Aaron Jones and the inside zone.
We're going to talk about that next. Jordan Love. Keith Murphy, the unbeaten, says, wasn't it rainy in Philly? Rick was fine. I don't think it was.
It was like foggy. Was it raining? I don't remember it raining.
It rained the week before. Tony Nagatani says Brock played in Iowa. He'll wear a glove, and I think he'll be fine. He's not from Hawaii like Tua and me, so he's better prepared. What worries me is LaFleur and his young wide receiver. It rains a lot in Hawaii, actually.
It does.
It does rain in Miami. What worries me is LaFleur and his young wide receivers. Niners should win. We're going to talk about matchups, all that kind of stuff. Tony, I appreciate you, man. We're going to get into that, and we're going to dedicate it to you. Chris Lavelle says, Grant, it'll be my first Niner game tomorrow. Was wondering if we could take photo if you're not too busy. Such a huge fan, but I understand if you can't. I'm very busy at the games, Chris. I'm sorry, man. I'm working 3 hours before the game and 3 hours after. So probably not, but enjoy it. Keith Murphy, the unbeaten, says Jim Harbaugh and Pete hate each other. That is true. Ezio Sanchez says 1 Mahomes, 2 Allen, 3 Lamar Jackson, 4 CJ, 5 Brock, 6 Jordan Love, 7 8 is interchangeable between the other two. Amy for paying Jimmy Garba. She's not there anymore. But yeah, we agree with that. Josh White, if Kyle doesn't completely own Joe Barry, then something is wrong. Joe Barry, really? Who is Joe Barry? Kyle's going to take his lunch money and probably get Joe fired.
Yeah. I mean, Joe's the DC for Green Bay.
Yeah, but is he terrible?
No, he's decent. Okay, he's not bad.